Signatures are being collected across Massachusetts to get an updated bottle bill on next year's ballot. The measure would give consumers a 5-cent return on deposited non-carbonated drinks. This week on Inside Wellesley, how local residents are getting involved in this statewide debate. Olney tries to keep a green home. A garden filled with native plants grows in her front yard, and she produces vegetables out back.
My garden is predominantly native species. The idea being that without having a lawn, you're cutting down on the fossil fuels that you're burning to mow it and the fertilizer and all that stuff that you have to dump on it.
And she's constantly thinking of new ways to become more efficient.
And then we're about to add a porch on the back so that we have adequate roof space for a solar installation. So we'll be able to power our house and our cars.
For this longtime Wellesley resident, being green is an important part of life, which is why she's active in a statewide initiative to get an updated bottle deposit question on the November 2014 ballot.
It's one of my greatest pet peeves that I walk my dog, as you saw me doing, every day, and I pick up plastic bottles. Almost every time I go out, I find plastic bottles in the gutter, and they're almost all the plastic bottles that aren't covered in the deposit bill.
Massachusetts introduced a deposit law back in 1983, allowing residents to return their cans as well as plastic and glass bottles of beer and carbonated beverages for 5 cents. Now, environmentalists want to expand the law to include non-carbonated drinks like water, sports drinks, juices, and teas.
As you know, as those products have taken off, and now 1.2 billion, at least 1.2, I've also seen 1.5 billion of these single-serve non-carbonated beverages are being consumed in Massachusetts every year. And 23% of those are being recycled. So that means all of the rest of them are going into landfills or winding up in the gutters, and I'm picking them up on my dog walk. So this would add all those non-carbonated beverage bottles to the current deposit system, which would mean when you go to buy a bottle of water, you would pay that additional nickel, which is what you pay when you buy a Coke or any of these other carbonated beverages. And if you wanted to get your nickel back, you just bring your bottles back the way you would your soda bottle.
Although similar legislation has been proposed for years, it's never gone to vote, prompting organizations across Massachusetts and here in Wellesley to start collecting signatures.
There's a perfectly good solution to this. You just take these bottles and put them into the existing deposit system.
Olney, a member of the League of Women Voters and Sustainable Wellesley, started reaching out to other like-minded groups and residents to round up as many signatures as possible.
So in the mornings, we would gather a lot of signatures from teachers at the school, and that helped pick up a lot of signatures from other towns outside of Wellesley. And then we also would collect signatures from parents at pickup and drop-off.
Olivia and Matt, part of the Green Team at Wellesley High School, a group that promotes sustainable initiatives at WHS, jumped right in, quickly spreading word to their peers.
But I think that there's definitely spirit in the high school about going green. Once they realized what it was, definitely saw the need for it and were supportive of it.
68,000 signatures are needed statewide to get this bill on the ballot next year.
So we actually got to 1,484. And when I finally tallied that up, it was the night before the signatures were supposed to be due, and I was just kicking myself for not getting those 16, because that would have gotten us to 1,500. But
signatures will have to be certified by the Secretary of the Commonwealth before the bill gets a thumbs up to be placed on the 2014 ballot. For now, Olney is just proud of Wellesley for getting involved.
I think the idea that there were people working all across the state on this issue, it was really heartening to feel like Massachusetts voters could come together, that we have this opportunity in our state to say to our state legislatures, you may not be willing to work on this, but we are, And we're out here, and we're not just going to sit and wait for you to do something. We are going to get out in front of this and get it done.
For Wellesley Media, I'm Natalie Kaplan.